Hello, Vicky. Hello, Leah. Hello, Ron. Hello, Nina. Hello, Leonardo. I'm okay today, Nina, so far. How are you? I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. Dajahao. Hello, Hossein. Hello, Ali. And Daisy and Cute. Ah, come on. There. Not too much, Hussein. How are you? You're lying on the bed? Cute. 我觉得你可以说 I'm lying in bed. 有时候我们说 on the bed. 可是我们常常说 I'm lying in bed. Have I ever done drop shipping? I haven't yet, no. I need to learn how to do that, though. I have some merchandise that I want to sell, but I need to find an Alibaba merchant who can make it and drop ship it for me anywhere in the world, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. What's the difference between smell, scent, and odor? Nothing. When they're adjectives, they're the same. What's that smell? What's that scent? What's that odor? Scent, odor may often have a negative connotation. Scent may have a neutral or a positive connotation. Smell could be either. Could be a good smell or a bad smell. And smell also is a verb, to smell. So welcome to my live stream once again, everyone. I am here to teach English today, but I have a new rule. Well, it's not really a new rule, but it's a rule I need to make sure I tell everybody every time. I will only teach you if you are polite. I will only teach you if you are patient. And if you want help on HelloTalk, then you need to learn one very important skill. You must learn how to introduce yourself politely and ask for help politely. Let me say that again. If you want help from anyone on HelloTalk, listen to me. You must learn how to introduce yourself politely, and you must learn how to ask for help politely. I do not like it when people come on my live stream and say, "Put me on stage." I do not like it when people come on stage or come into my live stream and they say, "Teach me English." If you want help, you need to learn how to ask for it politely. That is probably one of the most important things you need to learn for your English. And Cute says, "I'm not good at introducing myself." Well, then you better learn. 这是非常重要。如果我需要你帮我学中文，我也需要。You need a good introduction. 介绍. Why do I want to study Chinese? No reason. To learn. Let's see. Hello, Dr. Ann. I'm okay. You're about to get into it. Could bring lots of money. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. I have no idea about the business of it. I just wanted to find something to sell my personal merchandise about my brand. So, maybe it's really a good lucrative business, but I'm so busy trying to do my businesses, I don't have time to think about any other businesses. Jack, excuse me. I'm not familiar with that book exactly, but if it's a Cambridge IELTS book, I'm familiar with Cambridge. Cambridge and Kaplan and Barron's are the three companies I generally recommend for study books for English. Hello, Johnny. Thank you. I appreciate you coming to say hello. Jack says, we have to say, have a nice day. May you please put me on stage, or may you put me on the stage, please. Yeah, but honestly, Jack, I think you need to do more than that. I think you need to do more than that. If you want to come on stage, first of all, it's kind of weird if you just say, put me on stage. Why? Why? Why do you want to be on stage? For what reason? So state your purpose. State your purpose. You should say something like, may I come on stage and practice my English with you? Okay, that's one. May I come on stage to ask you a question I have about grammar? That's another good one. May I come on stage to get help with my accent? There's a good one, right? State your purpose. State your purpose, state your purpose, state your purpose. When you just say, put me on stage, it sounds very demanding. It sounds very demanding and disrespectful and a little dehumanizing. Okay? So you're learning language, everyone. Part of language is custom. And being polite is generally a part of almost every culture and, the customs of every culture. You shouldn't just rudely tell people to do things. Okay? But I see it here every day. And I know why. I know it's because you don't have the language ability. You don't have the ability. That's why I'm telling you, that's what you need to learn. If you want help on Hello Talk, you must learn how to ask for it politely. If you want help from me, especially, you must learn how to ask me politely for what you need. May I have some help with this? May I ask you about this? May I? Repeat after me. May I? Okay? Hello, Mary. Ali AQ says sometimes maybe they can't complete it. Yeah, I understand, Ali. That's part of what I'm saying. I had to learn the words. 不好意思，请可以说请可以问你一个问题吗？ I had to learn that. 不好意思，你可以帮助我吗？请可以帮助我吗？请 Not 帮我 No, I don't just say help me now. 现在你需要帮我 No, 就是疯快 Okay? See, now, Dr. Ann, listen to me. May I come on stage for asking about my career? Yes, you may, Dr. Ann. Give me just one more minute to catch up with the comments, and then I will invite you on the stage, okay? Have a nice day is okay, Jack, but honestly, have a nice day is usually something we say when we're leaving. You could say, I hope you're having a nice day. That sounds like an introduction. But when you say have a nice day, usually that's what we say when we're leaving. We'll say, it was nice to meet you. Have a nice day. Okay? What's the difference between profitable and lucrative? Sometimes nothing. This is a very profitable business. This is a very lucrative business. They're synonyms. I would say in most cases, those are interchangeable. Yeah, those are synonymous. Okay? Hossein, if you want to talk about teaming up, send me a message. Maybe we can. Okay? Amina says, may I ask you a question? Yes, you may, Amina. Yes, you may. Hello, Olga. Feng Kuang. What did I say? Feng Kuai? Feng Kuang. Yeah. Boy, you said, see? Okay, yeah. 谢谢你找我。有时候我说不对的。疯狂。Okay, let's see. Let's get Dr. Ann on stage first because she was polite and she asked me the right way.
Hi, teacher. How are you?
Hello, how are you, Ann?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm good. I like your sunglasses.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
Okay. Teacher, I came for asking question about career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm thinking to make career in language
Okay.
field.
You're thinking about a career
Yeah.
in the language
So-
field. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, how much scope are there in future? like translator, like we know today. There is artificial intelligence and AI also, Chat GPT also for translator, for translating work. So is there any other like scope also of the language? Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking to become translator.
I
What you
do.
say?
I do think that the language field is going to change a lot in the next few years. In the next 5 to 10 years, there are going to be a bunch of new technologies that come out that change language in general. For a lot of people, they won't learn languages at all anymore. They'll just use AI translators for everything because they already have them now. They have translators that you can put it into your ear and you can speak English and somebody else could be speaking German or French, and you just tell it what language you want to hear, and it will translate everything in your ear for you. So they have that now, but it's not cheap yet, and it's not globally available yet, but it will be. Now, what does that mean for language? And many years ago, in 1978, they created something called the drum machine. It was the first electronic drum machine that would program drum beats, right? For electronic music, when you hear electronic drums, that's a drum machine, not a real drummer, right? And when they created that, they said, well, there won't be any real drummers anymore. It'll just be all electronic drums. Now, is there a lot of music now that has electronic drums? Yeah, there is. There's a lot of music that has just electronic drums in it. But are there still drummers? Yeah, there are. But it's a much more competitive field. It's a smaller field. So I think if you're going to be in the language business now, and you're looking to do this now, you can't do it in the traditional ways. You can't do it in the traditional ways. You have to find some way to be uniquely valuable in this field. So, for example, like I am actually not too worried because I think that some of the ideas that I'm teaching are completely new, haven't been taught before, and still will be valuable to anybody who is interested in learning languages in the future, right? So if you feel like you have a unique or specialized view or a specialized technique, then I think that you could be okay. But if you're just trying to be an English teacher or something like that, I think a lot of people are going to lose work for that. I think that their AI will start teaching you English. You just have an AI English teacher. There will be, that's coming very soon. In the next 5 years, there will be teachers who are just AI, where you just say, I want to learn English. And it says, okay, well, let's start with this book, and I'm going to teach you about basic grammar, and it will do everything for you, But so that's what I would say is I would say if you're planning on doing language, you need to be creative. The one thing AI cannot do, really, not yet, at least, is creativity.
Yeah.
So if you have some unique way, then maybe you'll be okay. But otherwise, I would say there are a lot of jobs and fields that are going to change drastically in the next few years. Medicine will be changing and law will be changing. You'll have an AI lawyer. The AI will know all of the legal rules. Yeah, think about it. That's actually a good thing, because the truth is when you need a lawyer or a doctor, a human being can only know so much information. It's hard, so only the best of the best of the best know everything, right? And even they don't know everything. They know a lot. But an AI doctor or an AI lawyer will know every little thing that they need to know. They'll know all of the literature, everything that's ever been written about law, about this thing. They will know it. And defend you in a better way or present you with better options and information. So, like I said, I think there are many, many fields that will be changing soon, and language is one of them. Yeah.
So thank you so much, teacher. I really appreciate. Somehow I come to know the right track exactly. You point out a lot of things. If I'm thinking to become translator in my language, so I hope the world is going to change after 5 years because technology is too much advanced there. And today's all the the smart, cute baby even know how to use device, how to operate machine. So they are too much into advance. So they will not give much importance to human verbal communication or if we are teaching something in a traditional way. Yeah, we are telling. But the other part, as you mentioned, a lawyer action. There are a lot of information, rule, regulation already mentioned in our constitution of India or the constitution of all over the world.
Right.
So there is rule, but only that the fighting work can do by the human being only because it will take maybe long time, 10 to 15 hours, 20 years 20 years or 50 to make a lot of robots for
I
fighting
agree,
front
but
of the judge.
I think the robot part is a long way away. But I think the computer, just using AI on a computer or an app to do things, that's coming very soon. Right? So robots, that's a long way away. And it's very expensive. Not many people, I think that, people like Elon Musk who say that everywhere's going to have robots, that's a silly thing because economically that's just not possible. There are lots of places in the world where they can't afford to have $1 million robots running around. No, that's a silly idea. He doesn't think things through a lot. Yeah, so that's the other thing I was going to say is that in certain places in the world, these technologies are going to start in the richer parts of the world first, right? So in places like India or places like some places in Africa or countries that have a less strong economy, those countries will be a little bit behind, and that means that you still have more time to still offer these services. Okay?
Exactly. One day, teacher, I was reading book day before yesterday. So I was reading about machine translation. Machine translation or internet translation. So there were some line mentioned in the book, it doesn't matter, the technology is going to be advanced in future, but it will never be appropriate or correct things by the internet because language is made by human. We living in a society where multilingual people are living, multicultural, global.
I don't know if I completely agree with that. I think that I think you're underestimating how fast AI can learn and improve. And we've only had AI for a couple of years now, and it has already gotten really much better, much faster. It still has a lot of flaws. Of course it does. But it will continue to learn from itself, and it will continue to get better. And I will give you this, though. There is a positive side to what AI can do also, because some languages, do you know how many languages that are in the world that are dying? Like, very few people speak them anymore. And if people stop speaking, those languages will die. We have already lost thousands of languages in this world. AI could possibly keep those languages alive by having a method of teaching those things permanently in the internet or in the cloud, So if you want to learn some rare language from India that very few people speak anymore, but maybe your grandmother used to speak it, and you want to learn it, okay, well, now that will still be there. You know, so I think that there are some positive aspects to this too. That it's not just going to steal jobs from people; it will also help in some ways too. I think that we've all been silly thinking that money was always going to be the answer to life because economics is so short-sighted. It's so short-sighted. The idea that money is going to be here always and have the same value always. And no, it's not. Jobs are not always going to be here. The idea that that we're always going to have the same number of jobs and the same number of people, that's silly. And technology now is really changing that, where millions of jobs are going to be gone now. Millions and millions and millions of jobs will be gone. And that means we have to change the idea of what economics means. We keep thinking that money is everything, but it's not. And it never has been. It's just paper and metal. That's all money is. So we need to find new ways to value people. And that could be a positive thing about technology, see, because AI is going to force us to lose a bunch of jobs. It's going to force us that the economies are going to crash, which means that we will be finally forced to reconsider economics. We'll be forced to find new ways to consider the value of people. We would never have done it otherwise. People love money. Rich people love money.
Exactly.
So they would never want to change the system that keeps them rich. But this is going to force mass change of economies all over the world. The entire view of economics is going to have to change because of technology. So what I would say is be creative and be versatile. Be versatile. This is another thing I've talked about before on my streams, that if you only have one skill or one job and one thing that you do, then you're in trouble. Because you can be replaced very easily. You only do one thing. You better find some other talents. You better find some other skills. You better find some unique ways to combine the talents and skills that you have. If you find unique ways, then
teacher, I want to know.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Like as a student, a lot of students face the problem. If I talk about the Indian student, they don't have much option into IT field, because a lot of students who are getting education in IIT, they are also still jobless. Because we can understand by artificial intelligence or too much modernization, but there are not facilities for those Indian students even who take interest in technology, like who are too much good at. They are also creative. So among in 100 of one student only can be the best creative person, but the other student going to lose their job. So we can say. Internationally, this problem going to be all over the world for all students.
Yeah.
And,
I agree. Yeah. Like I said, I think it's going to happen in every career. Yeah.
Yeah. I am thinking I should become singer. Sometimes I'm thinking I should become lawyer. Sometimes I'm thinking I should become teacher. Sometimes I'm thinking I should become translator. So today time, like because of internet, the speed of internet, student is trying to run with internet, but that is never possible because we have a short life and we have a big dream. And
Okay.
it's hard to achieve all the field.
Well, yes and no. So you said sometimes you want to be a singer, sometimes you want to be a teacher, sometimes you want to... Okay, but you can do all those things. I am a drummer, and I am a teacher, and I'm writing my book, and I do... Remember what I tell people when they ask me what's my job. I tell them my job is being me. I do anything I can do. I do anything I can do, and you should do anything you can do. And if you keep arguing about it and saying, well, but I could never learn how to be good enough, I could never learn how to be, well, every day you waste talking about how you couldn't do it is one day you could start doing it. Meaning, if you start, just stop arguing about it and start. If you want to be a singer, start singing. If you want to be a teacher, start teaching. Just start. The sooner you start, the sooner you climb up the mountain. Stop arguing about how difficult the climb is and start walking. You know? There are people who just stay at the bottom of the mountain and they go, oh, this mountain is so hard to climb. I don't think I can do it. And they just every day talk about how this mountain is hard to climb. I don't think I can do it. This mountain is hard to climb. I don't think I can do it. But many people, they just start walking up the mountain. And every day they make a little bit more progress towards the top. So, am I the best drummer in the world? No, I'm not. But I'm not bad. I'm pretty good. And lots of people want to play with me and work with me. Am I the best teacher in the world? No, I'm not. But am I pretty good and people want to listen to me? Yeah. And the more I do it, the better I get. So I stopped arguing about it. I stopped wondering if I should, and I just started doing it. Okay?
Teacher, I want to say thank you. Right now, I find my wife and me. If somebody asks me what do you want to be, then I said my job is to be me.
That's right.
And then this is the very best answer because I'm telling you, sometimes I get interest in music. Sometimes I think I should become psychologist. Sometimes I think I should be a lawyer. Sometimes I think I should be a motivational speaker who motivate the people. Sometimes I think I should be a problem-solving person.
And here's what I tell you.
Person. Yeah.
Many of my best ideas that I have for learning language, many of the best things that you hear from me come from my background as a musician. I'm applying the concepts that I learned in music to language. So, it's because I'm a drummer that I'm a good English teacher. And guess what? I'm a great cook, too. And because I'm a good musician, I'm a great cook because the same ideas that work well in music work well in cooking. And because I cook, I learn about cultures around the world, and that helps me here when I'm talking to people I know about your food. You know? So that's what I'm trying to tell you is the more you learn in one field, if you're creative, you'll learn how those ideas can be applied to another one. You know, and then that's when you become truly valuable because you have insight that maybe someone else didn't have. They were just an IT person. They only did IT, and so they only know IT. But if you have another skill, maybe there's a concept from that skill or that talent that you have that you could apply to IT that would be unique and new. So, like I said, I would say at least half of the ideas I have that you guys think are good ideas, they come from me being a musician. And if I wasn't a musician, if I weren't a musician, I wouldn't know those things. So,
music is life.
It's combining your creative talents. Combine your creative talents. That's the only thing that can battle against AI. Combining creative talents. Because that's one thing AI doesn't do yet, and I don't know if it's ever going to be able to do it that well. Because here's the thing. Human beings are good at adaptation, right? Adapting and changing, right? So we have a unique ability to take one thing and another thing and put them together into something new. That's something AI is not going to be able to do, I don't think, anytime soon. And so combining your talents is one unique skill that humanity has. Combining talents for adaptation. So that's why I'm saying, all of you, do anything you can do. Don't paint yourself into a corner. To paint yourself into a corner means that you have no options because you only have one direction you can go. If you only study one thing and only do one thing, you better be the best at it. because if you're not, you're going to be replaced. Yeah. So, anyway.
Very true, teacher. All the things you mentioned and really very true. And we should be creative. We should be what we love, we should do, and what we do, we should love. That is a life.
I agree.
Because there is not a specific career job. People die for a single job. That is not a good way of living life. We should learn the art of living life.
This is another thing that I think might be a possible benefit of AI making people lose so many jobs. Because right now, the last 50 years in the world, people have continued to go towards this idea of it doesn't matter if you love it, it only matters if it makes money. So there are a lot of people who do work just for work. It's just money. They don't care about what they do. But guess what, everybody? It does matter if you care about what you do. If you go to a mechanic to fix your car and he cares about what he does, he's going to do a better job. If you go to a doctor who cares about what they do, they're going to do a better job. If you go to a teacher who cares about what they do, they're going to do a better job. We need a world where people care about what they do. You know, so just saying, well, I just do it for the money. We don't need any more of that. And again, I think those people are also going to be more likely replaced. Because if you are only doing it for the money, then you have no passion, which means, again, AI is going to come for you. AI is going to come for you and take your job. So, and thank you for your great questions. Those were very interesting questions to answer and talk about. And I would just continue to encourage you to just remember that you have to be creative and combine your talents. And so you're feeling that you want to do many different things. That's normal. That's being human. We have many interests as human beings. And there's a famous painter named Bob Ross. He died many years ago, but he used to say, talent is a pursued interest, which means when you see somebody talented, you go, oh, they're so talented, like they're born with it. Like that's all it is. They were born with this. No, what it is they enjoyed doing something and they started doing it, and they did it long enough that now you look at them and you say they're talented. So talent is a pursued interest. To pursue means to chase. Find your interests and chase them. If you chase them long enough, somebody will say, wow, you're so talented. Okay? So pursue your interests. Pursue your interests. Okay? Anne, it was great to talk to you. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go, but come back and see me again, okay? Okay, Anne?
Okay, and thank you so much. I will give myself to myself for singing, for music, for instrument, for whatever I want to do, for speaking, for public speaking, for taking interview. One more thing, I also forget. Two things come in my mind always. I should become a host or in media journalist.
Okay.
Who ask a question.
Okay. Yeah. Your questions are good.
My mind is a monkey mind. Sometimes I think to myself, what kind of my mind is this?
I know, and you know what?
So
sometimes people say that's a negative thing to have many, ideas in your mind. It can be, but it won't be if you just remember to direct your energies, right? So when you say you want to do something, do it. Right? That's the one thing about humans. It only becomes true when you actually do it. So saying it is one thing. Anybody can say it, but you have to go do it. So if you want to be a journalist, then go be a journalist. Okay? If you want to teach, then teach. And you don't have to wait for anyone. Okay? You can start doing it in small ways. If you want to write something, write an article. Now you're a journalist. If you want to teach something, find someone to teach them. If you want to sing, go sing. Find some place where you can sing. Go out in public and sing. Start small. Everyone starts there. Okay? Everyone starts at the bottom of the mountain. Okay? All right, and thank you so much. I'll see you next time, okay?
Thank you. Okay, welcome.
Take care.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Next time. Thank you so much for such a wonderful answer.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Take care. Hello, Gunter. Hello, Sabrina. Hello, Belen. My 3 favorite people. How are you guys? And I want to address a comment I saw. Hello, Pierre. Pierre says, I always see you angry and shouting recently to the audience. What makes you not satisfied from the people in Hello Talk? Pierre, my job is not just to be here to answer any question you want whenever you want to. Okay? That's not my job. You're not paying me anything. My job is to be here and help people when I want to. But if you dehumanize me, then I don't want to help you. And I feel bad. Pierre, what you don't understand is that the people who actually do these things, the streams, the stream hosts, the ones who actually care and put their time and effort and heart and passion into what they do, they often get very drained and they often feel dehumanized by the people who are here. And I'm trying to teach you that just because I'm on the internet doesn't mean I'm not a human being. And you must learn how to treat me like a human being. So, as a teacher, my job is not only to teach English. Okay? Any teacher, I don't care what subject you teach, part of what you teach is life. Okay? So what I'm telling you is, I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to help you. If you don't want my help, you don't have to be here. Okay? So, Pierre, are you still there? Did you hear my answer, Pierre? I hope. And what you don't understand, Pierre, is when you have 70,000 people who follow you, you regularly get people who are rude to you. I experience rudeness on a daily basis. And sometimes it's unintentional. And sometimes it's purposeful. Sometimes people just don't care about me and they want their answers. Sometimes it's not intentional. It's accidental. It's because of a lack of skill. So they don't know the proper way to say something. They don't know the proper way to ask for something. So they say, put me on stage. And I am trying to teach you. That makes me feel bad. I'm trying to teach you. That is rude. That is dehumanizing. So I am teaching you, which is what my job is as a teacher. I am teaching you that if you want something in this world, you must learn how to ask for it properly. Do we all understand what I'm saying? I'm a nice guy, believe it or not. I'm a nice guy, but I will not be dehumanized. I'm a nice guy, but I will not be ordered. Okay, if you tell me what to do, I'm not going to help you. If you ask me what to do, I will help you. Okay, Pierre? Do we all understand that? Miguel, my 4th most favorite person to speak to. Hello, Miguel. How are you? I hope you're doing well, my friend. I meant to send you a message the other day, and I got busy and I forgot to do it. But let's talk later. Let's catch up. Okay, let's see. Hello, Invisible. Hello, Sinan. Hello, Vietnam. Xin chào. We are not your favorite? What? Oh, because I said there. Well, those people are people who really like me and respect me, and they treat me nicely. These are my friends. They treat me respectfully and kindly. I know them. We talk, and I feel like they're family. Okay? If you want me to feel that way about you, I'd be happy to feel that way about you. I want to be connected that way to as many people as I possibly can in this life. But you have to make me feel that way. You have to make me feel like you care about me. And you want me to care about you. Okay? Hello, Mona. Hello, Santiago. Thank you, Sabrina. Miguel, you're in the city of jazz. You're in New Orleans? Really? Oh, dude, I love that city. That is one of the best cities in the world for food and music. I'm so jealous. I have some friends down there. Send me a message. Maybe I'll see if I can get you hooked up with them if you want to hang out with some locals. We are praying by giving you watch time. Invisible, I'm not exactly... Oh, paying by giving you watch time. No, you're not. No, you're not paying me anything. This doesn't make me any money. I don't make any money here. Okay, Invisible? See, that's dehumanizing. What you just said is dehumanizing. What you just said is, I owe you something because you watch me. No, I'm not that desperate, man. I'm not that desperate. I have 70,000 followers, and it doesn't matter to me that I have 70,000 followers. It matters to me if I have any followers who care about me. Okay, so if I had 10 followers who cared about me, that means more to me than 70,000 who don't. Okay, so, Invisible, you aren't paying me anything. Let's be clear. You are not paying me anything. Every minute that I'm here to help you, you should be paying me. That's why you should be grateful. You should be grateful that I'm here to help you. If you're not grateful for my help, then I would ask you to unfollow me and go follow someone else. Okay, Invisible? And Gunter, yeah, that's my plan, to come to Europe and see my friends. So yes, you guys, that's my trip. My entire trip is going to be based on seeing my friends in Europe. So do I want to see some sights? Yeah, but to be honest with you, that's not as important to me. You know, I want to see my Hello Talk friends. So if you want me to come visit you and you're in Europe, send me a message. Okay? Daniel says, if I want to be on stage, I try to ask properly. That's right, my friend. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Thank you very much for that. Okay. Hello, Ahmad. How am I doing? I'm doing okay. Appeal says we should be more polite while asking anything or want to know anything from any person. You can't ask anyone hardly or disrespectfully. I completely agree. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. Logan wants to know what's the difference between beside and besides. Beside means next to. Besides usually means other than. Right? So if I say, besides basketball, what other sports do you like? I'm saying, other than basketball, what other sports do you like? But if I say, my phone is beside me, that means next to me. Okay? Thank you, Appeal. How do you think we can improve our English listening ability? Lulu wants to know. Lulu, the first thing you should do is find people to listen to who speak well. Okay, make sure you're listening to people who speak well. If you're trying to listen to just anyone on YouTube, you're making your job much harder. You're going to be frustrated because many people don't speak well. So you must start with good models. Learn from someone who speaks well first. Okay? Then later you'll start to understand the people who don't speak so well or aren't so careful with their language. Find someone who's very careful with their language and then listen to them. Okay? Thank you, Fran. Jumana says, I admire your rules in life. I hope to master the English well and to speak with you on stage, so I ask you to help me master the language. Okay, see? Now that's respectful. That's respectful, and so I appreciate that, Jumana. If you want to come talk to me, you can. I'm drinking coffee, everyone. Can I teach you about the IELTS test? No, it's a big test. I can't teach you about the IELTS test. If you get lessons from me, maybe I can. But the IELTS test is a huge test. I cannot just teach you the IELTS test. Okay? And that's something you generally should pay for because it's a really difficult skill. Okay? Jumana wants to know how to pass the IELTS test also. Okay, so let me give you some general advice. Okay, one, get good study books. Get good study books. Kaplan and Cambridge and Barron's. Those three companies. Kaplan, Cambridge, Barron's. Kaplan, Cambridge, Barron's. Those companies make great IELTS study books. Two, you need at least 6 months to practice. Okay? You need at least 6 months to get ready for it. Three, you should focus on your weaknesses, not on your strengths. Okay, so if you're really good at speaking and you're really good at writing, great. But then that means you should work on your reading and your listening. Okay, don't work on the things you're already good at. Okay? And four, if you can't afford it, you should get a private teacher who specializes in the IELTS preparation. Okay? All right. Hello, Mr. Worldwide. Ahmad, how can you learn the English language? Why don't you start by following my YouTube channel? Go here. If you go here, then you can find my YouTube channel and you will be able to learn a lot from that, okay? But, you know, how do I learn English is a big question, you know? That's too big. Why don't you try asking a smaller question first, okay? All right. When will I play my drums? I don't know if I'm going to play any drums today. I played yesterday. Don't be angry. Fran and Hernand, I'm not angry. I'm passionate. Okay? I have a fire in here. All right? And sometimes you get burned by fire. Okay? So, Fran, don't misunderstand. I'm a nice guy. I am, generally. Okay? But as a teacher, I just refuse to be treated poorly. That's all. It's very simple. Okay? And it's a very important lesson for everyone to learn when you're learning a new language. One of the most important things you can learn in the beginning is how to ask for things nicely. When you need help, you better learn how to ask for it nicely. Okay? And so that's one of the first things you should learn when you learn a new language. Okay? How to be polite. Okay? Danielle is trying to write a book too. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Right? Is there any difference between put off and delay? Put off and delay you often have the same meaning, Hassan. Put off can have another meaning. It can be a phrasal verb or a verb phrase that means to be offended by something or to feel to reject something because you don't like it, right? You dislike the way something was. If you say, I was put off by his attitude, that means I didn't like his attitude. It offended me. Okay? But I put off my homework until tomorrow. That means I delayed. It means generally means the same thing. Okay? You can't find a good speaker on YouTube. Can you recommend some of those to us? Well, Mona, I don't know any, really. I don't watch YouTube, to be honest with you. I don't spend any time on YouTube, really. You know, I make my YouTube videos, but I don't spend a lot of time watching anything on YouTube, really. So I can't really give you any suggestions there. But I will tell you, TED.com, TED Talks. TED Talks are very good for listening to, for learning how to speak well. However, I will say that's generally only for intermediate to advanced learners. Okay? A lot of the topics in the language in TED Talks is pretty advanced, so it might be difficult for you. Okay? I will say there's a website you can go to. Whoops. You go to this website, esl-lab.com. This website I use with my students. It is a listening, English listening practice website. Go to that website and you'll find a lot of great practice for listening there. Okay? You can also go to eslfast.com, which is a great website for reading practice, for beginning and intermediate reading practice, and it's also good for listening because every short story they have about 3,000 short stories, and every short story they have a recording that you can listen to. Okay, so go to eslfast.com and esl-lab.com and ted.com. Okay, those are three that I would recommend. I would say ESL Fast is for beginners, ESL-Lab is for intermediate, and TED.com is for advanced. Okay? All right. Be patient. I'm trying to answer questions. Sandri, yeah, Kaplan. There's an N on the end of that word. Kaplan, Cambridge, and Barron's. Those are the three companies that I recommend. Yeah. Okay. How can I be fast in speaking without stuttering like a native speaker? Jaleel, why do you need to be fast? Jaleel, language has no speed. No one cares how fast you speak. People do care how well you speak. So change your goal, Jalil. Your goal should not be to speak faster. Your goal should be to speak well. Am I speaking fast now? No, I am not. I'm trying to be careful with my language. When you're careful with your language, people listen to you. Okay? Do I like tea? I do like tea. Oolong tea is my favorite. How can I say I like her but not like as love? If you just say I like someone, that doesn't mean you have intimate or romantic feelings for them usually. In my opinion, when you just say, oh, I like him, I like her, it just means you admire them in some way. Okay? If you say, I like them, I want to flirt with them, or I like them, I hope I can go out with them. Now you're implying you want a romantic relationship with them. But if you just say the words, I like this person, that doesn't mean that you have any intimate or romantic feelings. Okay? Okay, Mohammed, what's your question for your interview? Kareem wants to know how to speak fluently. Kareem, learn how to think fluently and you will learn how to speak fluently. Language starts in the mind. If you don't feel comfortable using English in your mind to think, then you will never feel comfortable using it in your mouth to speak. So every day you should be trying to think in English as much as you possibly can. Okay? Bruno, go to my YouTube channel. If you go to my link tree here, if you find this, you'll find my my YouTube, and there are a bunch of videos there that have a lot of tips about learning English. Okay? Okay, I'm trying to catch up with the comments, guys. Please be patient. Wow, it's coming too fast. Hello, Blue. Good to see you. You can speak Dutch. It's difficult to speak English. Okay, Elsa or Elsia. Well, learning any new language is difficult. I would say maybe you need a good grammar book to start, and you should go to my YouTube channel, and you'll find some good tips there, okay? Danny. Hi, Danny. 你是小孩子吗？因为你的问题，这是小孩子问题，这是小孩子的。Thiago says, why can't I recognize some words that I already know in some songs that I'm using to practice my listening? Thiago, I'm a native speaker of English, and I often cannot understand the words that people sing in songs. Because singing is not the same as speaking. Okay? When you sing, you might have a certain way of singing that means the language doesn't sound very clear. So, songs can be useful for learning some things about English, but I do not think songs are a very good way of learning English primarily. It shouldn't be the first and most important way that you learn English. That should be a very small way that you try to improve your English, okay? What can Iranians do if they want to have a class with you? Because I heard it's not easy to pay. Mona, send me a private message. I don't know about that. I did teach somebody from Iran, but I think that they had a foreign credit card or something like that. So I'm not sure how they paid for it, but I think that's what they did. Okay? Thank you, Angela. Do I have any tips that could help you with Japanese? Sure. Teddy, go to my YouTube channel. There's a 5-minute video there about how to think in English. You can use the same ideas to learn how to think in Japanese. Okay? Many of my learning concepts, I teach them from a standpoint of teaching English, but the truth is, a lot of them can be applied to any language. Okay? Thank you, Blue. What can I say? Danny. Well, Jaden, 你不需要说 old man. 你可以说 how old are you? 可是为什么你要知道？为什么？ I'm older than you. 你可以叫我哥哥，好不好？还是叔叔 maybe. All right. Let's see. What is the difference between make and make up? I saw a sentence saying they made up a new word from the combination of two Japanese words. So why do they say made up? Made up is a phrasal verb that implies the creation of something new. Make can have the same meaning. I think what I would say is to make something means to build, could be just to build something, or so it may not be creatively new, right? If you ask me, what are you doing? I could say I'm making breakfast. That just means I'm putting together the things that are in breakfast, right? But that's not new. That's not different. But if I say I made up a new breakfast food, that means I created something new. Okay? I combined things, or I used something new to create something new. Okay? So I think that the difference between make and make up would be one implies just the action of doing something, and the other implies some kind of newness or creation, innovation. Okay? My YouTube channel. Go to my link tree and you will find my YouTube channel right here. Copy that and paste that. You'll find everything you need. Okay? You'll find my website and everything. Okay? Hello, everyone new. Hello, hello, hello. What's the difference between get up and come to? Those are pretty different. Get up can mean to stand up. You know, hey, get up. It means, hey, stand up, right? Or it can mean a couple of other things, but usually it just means to stand up, right? Maybe you're sitting or lying down. Someone will say, get up, right? Come to means to come closer to something. So those are different, Kareem. Makeup can be kiss. Well, Peluso, make up can be to forgive someone. If I say we made up, that means we forgave each other. Or if I say, do you want to make up, that means we're in a fight and I'm asking, do you want to try to apologize and try to be nice to each other again, right? But make up does not Make out. Make out means to kiss. Peluso. Different. Okay. Make up means to apologize. Make out means to kiss. Okay? Where is my hair? I don't know. It's leaving my body. That's life. Okay, guys, there are so many comments. I'm trying to answer them all, but it's too many. I can't answer everything. I'm doing my best. A seal says, I can understand you, but when I listen to others, I can't understand them. Why? There are 3 reasons why. 1, I'm a teacher. It's my job to speak well, and I do my best to speak as properly and clearly as I can. I try to use simple language. I enunciate. I move my mouth a lot, so all the words come out very clearly. That's number 1. Number 2, I have this great microphone that makes everything sound perfectly clear. I have the equipment, the best equipment you can get to make everything sound really good, okay? And number 3, it could be that the person you are listening to doesn't speak well. So if they don't speak well, you can't listen well. Okay? Hello, Juicy from Tajikistan. Can I work in French? You want to hear? I can only speak a few French words, Sabrina. You know, parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous anglais? Voulez-vous coucher? You know, merci beaucoup. You know, oui, non. A certain je ne sais quoi. C'est la vie. You're thinking of learning a new language with English. Do you think it's a good idea? Should I master English first? Jumana, people ask me that all the time. Can I learn 2 languages at the same time? You can. Of course, it's going to be more difficult, but it also depends on which languages you're trying to learn together, right? It could be that the languages you're trying to learn may have some similarities that could be useful. So it just depends on you, really. Some people, I think, are able to do that. Other people, I would recommend maybe not doing that. DK, I have been here. I don't know where you have been, but I have been here. Sometimes I take a day or 2 off, but that is not a long time, DK. I have not had more than 2 or 3 days off in many weeks. Okay? How to become more articulate. You have an exam in a month where you have to participate in several group discussions. So do you mean articulate meaning to express yourself well with vocabulary, or do you mean articulate meaning express yourself well with pronunciation? Which one are you interested in? Thank you, Leonardo, for suggesting my YouTube channel. You're welcome, Thiago. Nancy, please give me some advice to learn English perfectly. Nancy, that's too big of a question, Nancy. Go to my YouTube channel. There is a video on my YouTube channel called Teacher Mark's Essential English Tips. Go watch that video. It's the most popular video on my channel. Go watch that video and you'll get lots of good tips. Okay? Is an American pronunciation mandatory for speaking English? Of course not. You can learn a British pronunciation or a South African pronunciation or an Australian pronunciation. No one cares. Pick one, whichever one you want. Okay? How old am I? Everyone wants to know how old I am. I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I'm 48, all right? Does that help? Does that make you feel better now that you know how old I am? Gunter says, I'm the only old man here. Thank you, Bruno. What does vexed up meaning? What does vexed up mean? Vexed means to be either confused by something or frustrated by something, or usually a combination of confused and frustrated by something. Vexed up, I've never seen before, I don't think. Pedram, the quality of my camera is very high. The quality of HelloTalk, the stream, is very low. But if you go to my YouTube, you'll see that the quality is perfect. So go to my YouTube channel, and there's no time limit on my YouTube. Okay? And I missed my my YouTube people over here. Miguel, did you move to New Orleans? You moved there? Wow, dude, now I have to come visit you. Hello, Salma, and hello, Utopia. Okay. Thank you, Bruno. Appeal, it doesn't matter what accent you choose for English. I don't care. Okay? Some British people may tell you that British English is the only English. Whatever. But, the Queen's English. Hello. Hello, love. Top of the morning to ya. But I don't care what accent you have. Doesn't matter. Okay? My next live stream will be on Monday, Sabrina. I might do one tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, made up usually means something new or something you created, you know. I made up a lie, right? It means something that you created that's new, okay? ESL, Wingen, means English as a second language. English as a second language, ESL. Okay? Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Gunter, I love your taste in music, man. What does corny mean? Corny means 我觉得就是一点奇怪跟等一下，我想一想，就是一半好笑，一半奇怪。听得懂吗？ Do I like tap dance? Well, that's an interesting question. Kind of, yeah. I met one of the most famous tap dancers of all time, Gregory Hines. I'm sulking common there. Mona, if somebody from America didn't understand I'm sulking, that's not your fault. That's their fault. Any human being born in America should know what sulking is. I hate to say that, but it means that your friend may just not have a very good vocabulary. Okay? But that's not a difficult or rarely used word, in my opinion. Don't sulk. You know, our parents tell us that when we're kids. Hello, Jarvis. Hello, Anderson. Hello, Azj. Hello, Hannah. You like my accent? I would love to learn French, but I've always felt like the French pronunciation is so hard. Hello, Julio. Thank you, guys. Articulate means two things. Okay, articulate means to speak clearly, but it can imply articulate meaning of good vocabulary and way of explaining things, but it also could imply your pronunciation of the language. Okay, to articulate means to move with a very clear manner. Okay, we use that language in music too. To articulate the music, to articulate on your instrument means to use proper technique to make the proper movements. Okay, so articulate and articulate are two different things. One is a verb and one is an adjective. But again, it could describe either your vocabulary and your ability to use it to express yourself well, or it could imply your pronunciation. Okay? How do I increase my vocabulary? Julio, let's see. Oh, good Lord, you guys with the comments, I'm not able to catch up. Okay, you need a system, Julio. Okay, reading is one of the best ways to learn new vocabulary. Reading. Thesaurus.com is another good way. Go to thesaurus.com, explore vocabulary using a thesaurus. Learning by topic is another good way. Type in vegetables vocabulary, or furniture vocabulary, or sports vocabulary, or computers vocabulary. Learn words that are related by topic. And finally, etymology. Go to etymonline.com. And that's a good website for learning about the history of where English words come from. Okay? All right. Good Lord, I'm trying to catch up. Hello from Dagestan. What is my job? My job is being me. I'm a musician. I'm a teacher. I'm a music teacher. I do anything I can do. Okay? My job is being me. Thank you, Hikaru. Hello, Esra. Hello, Sabrina. You can tell that I'm younger based on how I play the drums? All right. Well, thank you for that, David. I appreciate that. Let's see. All right, if you can't find my YouTube, wait a minute. Here's my YouTube. Go there. Okay? What is the meaning of tend to, and how can you use it properly? Tend to. If I say he tends to yell a lot, this guy right here, that means he often. Typically, often, usually, sometimes, tend to. To tend, let me see something. Let me check something on the word. To tend means to incline towards a certain direction. He tends to go that way, means he's inclined to go in that direction. Okay? It comes from the Latin word meaning to aim. To aim at something, right? Like with a gun or with to look at something, right? That's your aim, right? So to tend to do something means to tend to go towards that goal, okay, in some way. Hello, Ilias. See, Ilias knows how to be polite. In what situations would I use specific nonverbal cues to enhance my internal dialogue? Well, Ilyas, that depends. That's a very personalized thing. Body language would be nonverbal cues, and everyone uses body language differently. You know, I use a lot of body language. You know, my facial expressions and my arm movements. You know, like the Italians, they're famous for the, you know, bene. You know, they use a lot of non-verbal cues to enhance their dialogue, right? So I think that's very personalized, though. You know, some people use very, very little. They're very reserved in their body motions and facial expressions when they speak. But some people are very expressive with their nonverbal body language and facial expressions. Okay? You will, if you travel to the U.S., can you meet me? Sure, of course. Absolutely. If you want to come here. Yeah, absolutely. What is the verb of being confused, frustrated by something? Oh, vexed. V-E-X-E-D. To be vexed by something. Yeah, funny and weird. Ipan ipan. Yeah. And again, Charmin, I already answered this question many times. It doesn't matter which country it doesn't matter which one you choose. Just choose one. Okay? That's corny. It means something is weird or funny. You know, if he said something, you know, like a corny joke means a joke that's like, oh man, that was kind of like, you know, it's like a little funny, but it's also a little weird. So it's kind of like, don't be corny. You know, it's usually not a positive thing. In most cases, I think people say that, you know, if you're being corny or you're saying he's corny, it's kind of a negative thing. It's not a very negative thing, but it's kind of a negative thing. Okay. Do I know Pepe Sanchez? I think I do know Pepe Sanchez. I'm trying to remember. I'll look him up later, Bellin. I'm pretty sure I've seen some videos of his. He's coming to your town this weekend. Wow. Cool. Go see him. Take a video for me. What's the meaning of can you can a can in the can? It has no meaning. Where did you see that? Terrible. What's terrible? Julia, Simala. 你不喜欢听我的中文吗？ Okay, please be patient, everyone. Remember, there are many questions. I can't keep up with the questions. It's very hard. Johnny, thank you for that. Thank you. Hello, Ahad. I'm doing okay. Listening, Luna, what about listening? What do you want? What about listening? You want a website for that or what? Hello, Souza. Welcome back. Hello, Chloe. Thank you. Hello, Janya. Namaste. Can someone install English language in the brain? Yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. There are 5 parts of language learning: reading, writing, listening, speaking, and thinking. Thinking is the most important one. If you don't put the language in your mind, you don't speak that language. Let me say that again. If you don't put the language in your mind, you are not speaking that language. Translating everything in your head is not speaking the language. Okay? Is it a piece of cake if you learn vocabularies from listening? No, I wouldn't say it's a piece of cake. No. It depends on you. It depends on what you're listening to. Okay? Thank you, Robin. Okay, Gunter, I'll check my messages later. Hello, Hussein. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you. Okay, please remember, everybody, there are 127 people here, and I'm trying to answer questions from everyone. So if you have a question, please write the whole question clearly. If you just say something like, what about listening? I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Please write the entire question so I know what you're trying to ask about, okay? Hello, Boran. Bonjour. How to express your ideas well, not vocabulary-wise. Well, Ria, that's not something that is about language so much as it's about logic. Ria, what I would say is great contemplation is the secret of great articulation. Spend time thinking about what you want to express. Then when you want to express it, you will be able to. Okay? Ahad, how can you get rid of a stammer while speaking? Relax. Slow down. Breathe. Relax. Language is a performance. You must learn how to be relaxed to perform well. Okay? What role do nonverbal cues play in an overall process of thinking and communicating in English? Well, in thinking, I don't know really if they play any role, but in communicating, they play a great role because, again, language is a performance, Ilyas. If you want people to listen to you, you have to be a good performer. So, the truth is, I don't like sitting here in front of the camera like this. When I teach, I usually like to stand up and walk around, and I use my body and my language, my body language, my arms. I use acting. Language is acting in a way. So you have to take on a role, and that means to play that role with all of you, not just your words. Okay? Thank you, Alexi. How to speak fluently. You got to learn how to think fluently. That's the secret of speaking fluently. Fluent doesn't exist. The idea of fluency is it's a myth, okay? But if you make a good connection between the language in your mind and the language in your mouth, then you will feel like you are fluent, okay? I speak English and I speak Chinese. I know a little bit of many, many other languages. Hello, Marlena. How can you improve your pronunciation, Julio wants to know. Julio, write 10 words in English. Get a piece of paper. On the top of the paper, write 10 words that are difficult for you to say well in English, right? Across the top of the paper. Then look at the words, figure out, why is this word hard for me? What sound is difficult for me? Is it the R? Is it the TH? Is it the V? What sound is difficult for me? Then go online and find all the words that have that same sound and write them underneath there. So that means when you're finished, you'll have one piece of paper with 10 rows of words that are difficult for you to say well. That's what I call your target accent improvement list. Those are words that you can target. You can focus on those words every day, practicing them. You'll improve your pronunciation, okay? Fake it until you make it, sure. Thank you, Robin. What's my job? Alexi, 我有很多工作。我是英文老师，同时也是我是鼓手。我也可以做饭，我是厨师。现在我写书，我的书。如果我可以，我做。Okay? Job Sutra, go to my YouTube channel. And there's a video there you can watch. It's a 5-minute video about how to think in English. Okay? Good Lord, man, I wanted to talk to some people on my stage, but you guys are, I can't I can't answer the questions fast enough. How to pass an intermediate level? Continue to challenge your learning in new and different ways. If you feel like you're not making any progress, it's because you keep making the same kind of progress. Right? So if you just have one book, or you're only watching one video, or you're watching YouTube videos, that's all you do, that's why you're not progressing. If you want to learn something, you need every way of learning that you can get. Books, videos, apps, teachers, friends, live streams, podcasts, voice rooms, anything that you can get to learn, get it. Then you will progress. Okay? Have I ever met a fan in person? I have. Yes. Take care, Gunter. Good to see you again, my friend. Youglish.com. I don't know it very well, but I've heard of it. I'm sure it's good. Again, Edward, any site that teaches you something is good. So go to it. Use it. Okay? Wait some more. You can't write well. What should you do? Nancy, well, one, I would say read more. When you read, you see how things should be written. Okay, number 2, you can use ChatGPT to help you to learn how to write better. Number 3, you should write a daily diary, a journal, every day. Use ChatGPT, write a diary into ChatGPT, tell it to correct you every day, and tell you what you did wrong. Okay? Is it good to start with cartoons to introduce children to English? Marlena, I think that's not a bad way. Peppa Pig is definitely very popular for teaching English around the world. So yeah, I think that often cartoons are good for not only children, but adults too, even. Okay? Take care, Belen. Okay, give a simple explanation about how to break the ice. Samra, to break the ice just means to do something to try to make it more comfortable for you to talk to someone or to meet someone. So, Samra, I would say breaking the ice is usually about just having a good, proper, friendly introduction. Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. Very nice to meet you. May I have your name? Or ask something about what they are doing or what they do or what they're interested in. Okay? Hello, my name is Teacher Mark. Nice to meet you. I read in your profile that you like cooking. I like cooking too. Can you tell me about, one of your favorite recipes? Show interest in someone else is a great way to break the ice. Okay? What do I think about long-distance relationships? I think they're really hard, but I think even close-distance relationships are hard. 200 years ago, it wasn't that uncommon to have a long-distance relationship. Maybe your husband was in the military or in the Navy, or they were required to go live somewhere for years away from you. That wasn't that uncommon. And they did it, but it's not easy. Okay? But a relationship is like a plant. You have to pay attention to it every day or it will die. It needs water. It needs sunlight. It needs proper soil and nutrients. think about what those things mean in a relationship. And even if you do all those things, sometimes they still don't work out. Okay? Hello, Lena Aboud. You're struggling with different accents. What do you mean, Priya? You mean you don't understand other people's accents? How to think fluently in English. Ria, go to my website, go to my YouTube, and you'll find a video about how to do that. Here's my YouTube. There's a 5-minute video on my YouTube channel that will teach you about how to think in English. But step 1, I'll tell you right now. Baby English. Start with baby English. Babies don't care about grammar. Okay? And they think about things like what they want, what they need, what they like, what they don't like, how they feel. I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm tired, I'm hungry. Those are easy things, but you don't do them. I like this, I don't like that. I want this, I don't want that. I need this, I don't need that. Those are easy things, but you don't do them. Okay? So, start with baby English. Every simple thought that you have in your day, you should be trying to think it in English. Okay? Hello, Carolina. Hello, Augustino. Do I know where you can take a test online to see your English level with the 4 skills? Maria, I don't have a specific one, but there are many websites online that do have English level tests. But usually the good ones are not free. You may have to pay for it if you want a good assessment of your language. Okay? How to learn English consistently and without any procrastination. Shivank, procrastination is a state of mind. Okay? It's all about the psychology of you. You think you can wait for some reason. Figure out why you think you can wait. Okay? It's like driving a car. When you drive a car, you need to keep your hands on the wheel. Okay, so when you take your hands off the wheel, that's like procrastinating. Will you crash? Not necessarily. Maybe you'll be okay. But if you do crash, don't be surprised. Your hands were off the wheel. Procrastination is when you don't have control over your life. You are deciding to just let your hands go off the wheel of life and see what happens. Imagine it that way, and maybe you'll stop doing it. It's hard. Human beings naturally want to procrastinate because we prioritize things. This is important and this is not, or this is enjoyable and this is not. But Shivank, I will tell you this one secret about getting things done. If you can't clean the whole house, then just clean the room. If you can't clean the room, then just clean the corner. If you can't clean the corner, then just pick up your shoes. If you can't do it all, at least do something. Okay? Any videos or effective methods that would be help for elders improving English? Charmin, I would say go to my YouTube channel. Watch any of those my videos on YouTube, and you'll start to see lots of things that will help you. My techniques are good for any age. I don't see any purpose in thinking that when you're older, we have a saying in English, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but that's been proven to be wrong so many times. You can teach an old dog new tricks. Okay? So If you think you can't learn as well as a young child, it's only because you think you can't. You can. Okay? Thank you, Olga. Hello, Fluke. How can you learn English quickly? Stop talking about it and start doing it. Ariz, here's what I will tell you. If you're in a race, but that race has no finish line, then how can you get there more quickly? How can you get there quicker? There's no end to this race, so how can you get there quicker? You can't. Language has no end. So there is no getting to the end of it quicker. So stop talking about how can I be finished and just start doing it. Start running. Okay? You're going to the U.S. on July 5th, but your English is very bad and you're worried that you won't be able to have a good experience in the U.S. Where are you going, Rosia? Where are you going? Lily has a good placement test. Thank you for that, Lily. My YouTube channel is here. Thank you, Lily. You just came to realize that your only problem in English is tenses. Okay, well then, Brahim, if you know that, then you need to get as much practice with tenses as you possibly can. So go online and find a workbook, a grammar workbook that you can do, or do a search for English tenses worksheets and download a bunch of worksheets and start doing them and repeat them. Don't just do it one time. You have to do it many times. Okay, grammar is like a bear. If you only poke it, you're just going to make it mad. If you want to learn grammar, you have to kill the bear. Okay? So that means you have to do it many, many, many times. You can't just do it once. Don't poke the bear. Okay? You're going to Boston. Well, it kind of depends on where you go in Boston, because some people in Boston do have an accent that's sometimes a little difficult to understand. But, Rosia, what I would tell you is if you're polite and you ask the right way, you can do the same thing I do in Chinese. Okay? 我常常需要说不好意思，你可以说慢一点吗？请可以说慢一点吗？我的中文还好啊，所以如果你可以说慢一点，这是很好。Okay? So, you can do that in English. You can say, hello, I'm so sorry. My English is not very good. Please try to speak slowly for me, if you can. If you can speak slowly for me, that would help me. Okay? Say that. If you can speak slowly for me, that would help me a lot. Okay? Learn how to say that, and you'll be okay. All right? Boston is a very international city. Okay? I think that if you're polite about it, most people will be nice. And they'll try to speak slowly and clearly for you. Okay? And if you need help, you can give me a call. Send me a message and I'll see if I can help you, okay? Thank you, Timmerbeck. How do you explain to someone that they have to learn grammar to learn the language? Grammar is one of the important parts of language, Blue. I teach 8 parts of language. So you can tell them that there are 8 parts of language: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Those are the 8 areas that I use. Send me a message, Blue, and remind me. I'll send you my personal assessment test for language. I'll let you have it, and you can use it for your students. Okay? It's a form I use to try to assess every student I have about what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are and what they need to do to improve them. Okay? But grammar sucks. Everybody hates grammar. But you have to do it. You have to do it. Okay? Again, grammar is like a bear. If you don't kill the bear's going to eat you. If you don't eat the bear's going to eat you. Okay? Hello, Wen. It is 12:41 p.m. It's about time for me to have lunch soon. All right. Would someone like to come up and talk with me? I have answered a million questions now today, and my voice is a little tired. But if someone would like to raise their hand and come talk with me, then that would be great. Maybe you have a question? What's the most important thing to focus on in grammar? I don't know that you can look at it that way, Flower. I think that you can't really... Grammar is... you need a holistic approach, the whole thing. Okay, you need to consider the entirety of it. You can't just kind of consider, oh, well, this is the most. If you just do this, you'll be okay. Okay. ZH has an interesting question about culture. Is Chinese culture a culture that carries a lot of respect? What is the most respectful culture in the world? I think is what you want to say. I think that respect is a quality of humanity, not necessarily a quality of cultural origin. So, Chinese culture does have a lot of respect and politeness to it, but actually so does American culture. Again, you know, if I don't ask for things the proper way, my mom will still yell at me. You shouldn't say, can I? You should say, may I? You know, she'll still yell at me, right? So, I think respect is something that you have as an individual, because I think that every country has respectful people and disrespectful people. Respect is something that you have when you understand that it has a reciprocal nature. Reciprocal. It means if I respect you, you will respect me. Okay? Some people say you should respect your elders. I don't actually agree with that. I only respect my elders if my elders deserve respect. You can be old and be a bad person. You can be old and be bad. I'm not going to give you respect just because you're 100. No. As a matter of fact, if you're 100 years old and you're a bad person, that's more reason not to respect you. You should have learned respect over that many years. If you didn't learn it when you're 100 years old and you're still a jerk, well, that's not good. Respect is earned, not given. That's my opinion. It's just my opinion. Okay? So, I respect people who are doing their best to find a way to exist in this world that is beneficial to more than just themselves. Right? So if you live a life where you're trying to think about more than just yourself, then I respect you. But if you live a life that's only focused on you, I don't respect that. Okay? So ZH is an interesting question, and I would say that I don't necessarily think it's a good thing to consider respect as having a cultural origin. I think respect depends on what your parents taught you. Respect depends on what your family taught you. Respect depends on what your teachers taught you. Respect depends on how you were treated. You know, some people are very disrespectful, but it's actually because no one ever gave them any respect. No one showed them a good model. Right? So if you grew up in a terrible circumstance and you never had an opportunity to feel respected, or to see someone who earned respect the proper way, then you don't know about respect. Okay? All right, let's see. Let's talk to Blue. I want to meet Blue. Hello, Blue.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
How are you? It's nice to meet you.
Fine, thank you. How are you? It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So tell me, how can I help you? What can I do for you?
Well, that's like the question I made you. I think most of the people that really want to start learning, they don't start because of grammar. They're always scared of grammar.
Yeah, I admit that. That's why I tell my students I hate grammar too. I'm an English teacher, but I hate grammar. In any language, I hate grammar. I hate it. And as a matter of fact, it's part of my book. I have a chapter all about how English grammar still has a lot of features that are unnecessarily difficult, and sometimes just plain unnecessary, like the word whom. Do we really need the word whom? No, we do not. It doesn't serve any real purpose. You know, talking about, well, when it's the object, then you should use whom. No one cares. If it doesn't serve a purpose in the meaning, then it's not needed. You know, and so, you know, anything where you use the word whom, there's another way to say it using the word who that has the same meaning. And you don't lose anything, right? So I feel like that's extraneous. It's unneeded. Get rid of it, right? Or when I teach people about tenses, and we always say present perfect and past perfect, what does the word perfect mean? You probably know this because you're from Portugal, so you know.
Yes.
But the word perfect, most people hear that word and they think it means, 100%, like perfect. It's perfect, right? But no, the word perfect comes from the Latin word perfectum, which in Latin doesn't mean 100%. It means completed.
Yes, exactly.
And if you say present completed, past completed, that makes a lot more sense.
Yes.
You know, and when I have to teach that to people in China who don't come from a Latin-based language, it's really hard for them to understand. Why is it called perfect? That's weird, you know? But there are things about the English language. English is still taught from a language, it's still taught from a standpoint of the way we teach it for native speakers. But English is absolutely an international language now. And because it's an international language, we should change the way we teach it for an international audience, an international group of learners. So things like that need to be changed. The word whom, bye, we don't need you anymore. You know, you're just making it difficult.
I've talked about it in classes, but I don't really make them use it because it's like, we have who.
Right. That's right. We have who. It's not needed. And the only time when we need it is when you want to sound a little bit more, you know, whom were you speaking with? It's like, okay, if you want to sound overly formal and pretentious, then use the word whom. But there is no need for it. It could be, we could get rid of it and no one would lose any meaning in the language. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, my book that I have, as a matter of fact, my book, I think it's mostly British English, right? And so, there's one part where they're teaching about whom, and the way they write the sentence is, whom are these gloves? Whom are these gloves? That is an awkward way to write the sentence. We might say whom, sorry, not whom. Whose are these gloves? Whose are these gloves? Sorry, not whom. But we should say whose gloves are these?
Exactly, yes.
Right?
Sounds better.
That's right. It sounds better, and it just immediately makes sense. The word order is goofy. It's weird. And so, yeah. These are the things I'm starting to write about is, some of the aspects of English grammar that I think need to be looked at again with new eyes and new consideration that there are more people learning this language around the world than there are in native-speaking countries.
Yes.
So
totally.
that's why we need to reconsider it. But there are a lot of people, grammarians. Grammarians are people who love grammar, right?
I've heard of those people. It's like a myth.
I know, right? Yeah, but no, there are some people who absolutely love grammar. I honestly think they all should be put in a crazy house, like they're all crazy,
Yes.
But they do. However, a lot of that, it's all their ego. It's all their ego. Having rules and knowing the rules better than anyone else makes them feel important and smart.
Yeah.
And that means
sense.
they're making the language not about communication. They're making the language about their ego. The same thing happens in music, right? In music, we have something called music theory, right? So music theory is knowing about the chords and the scales. No, it's a C minor and it's an F major. And okay, great, right? And if you can talk about music using music theory, you can definitely communicate better with other musicians. However, there are many famous, wonderful musicians who don't know anything about music theory.
Yes.
Does it stop them from writing beautiful music? No, it doesn't, because the focus is not on the rules. The focus is on the music. And some people believe grammar is language. No, it's not. Grammar is talking about language.
Yes.
But it's not the
grammar
language
are
itself.
more structures that you can use.
That's right. It's the rules. It's the rules. It's the structures. But communication is the purpose of language. And I can say, I want go store. That's not proper grammar, but you're going to understand me. I can say store, I want go. It's not proper grammar, but you're going to understand me. I can say, I want store go. It's not good grammar, but you're going to understand me. Because the focus should be on communication.
My students usually say, yesterday I go to shopping, something like this. I go to shopping instead I went.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But we still understand them.
And I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't continually work on your grammar. You should. But I think that grammar is the number one reason why people hate learning any language.
Exactly.
Grammar is a cudgel. It's this big club that we've been beating over the heads of people for decades. Grammar. Your grammar is terrible. It's the reason why people run away from learning languages, because of grammar. So that's why all language learning needs to be readjusted, and we should start with practicality. So for example, if you took a music class for 1 year, and at the end of that music class, you couldn't write any music or play any music, people would think that's very strange, right? But how many people do you know who studied a language for a year, and they still can't use almost any of it at the end of that year? I know
A
many.
lot of people.
Yeah, I know many. I would say about 90% of Americans fit that category. Most Americans cannot speak another language. We may have learned one in school, but it didn't stick with us. And the reason why is because they focused too much on grammar and not enough on practicality. So when people ask me what's the best book to get to start to learn a language, I always tell them a travel phrase book.
Ah, okay.
Because travel phrase books don't focus on grammar, they focus on a practical application of the language quickly. That will get you into the language and help you get started. And then after you do that, just imagine most people, they'd get a travel phrase book and they use it for 2 weeks because they went on vacation. But what if you studied that book for a year? What if you actually sat down and really studied that book for a year? You could learn a lot and feel really good about what you're doing. Travel phrase books. Yeah. So, yeah, grammar. I hate grammar as much as anyone. I really do. But, the first language I studied when I was 15 in school, I studied Latin. And
Oh, God.
yeah, exactly. Oh, God. There's a reason no one speaks that language anymore because it is a really difficult language with extremely difficult grammar rules, right? That's why no one speaks it anymore. However, that's where I started on my process of hating grammar and starting to understand grammar and its real role in language, right? And again, I studied German after that for 3 years, and I still can't speak German at all very much. And the reason why is because of one simple thing. In school, they teach you about reading, they teach you about writing and listening and speaking, but they never talk about thinking.
That's true.
And if you don't learn how to think in that language, it will go away. That's why they always say, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. That's only true if you don't know how to think in the language. So I live in the United States right now. I'm not in China, but I can practice my Chinese anytime I want to. I live my day in Chinese. That's all. And now I know if I go back and learn German again, I can do it. Because I'll do it a completely different way. I'll start to apply anything that I'm learning on paper in my mind. And do you know why they don't talk about thinking in class? There's one very simple reason why they don't teach you about thinking.
They don't like students to think. I don't know.
Well, that is sometimes true. But no, it's because you can't test for thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Right? How do you test for whether they're thinking in that language or not? You can't. But that doesn't mean it's not important. I tell everybody that thinking is like the platform that reading, writing, listening, and speaking stand on. So when people ask me how to be fluent, I hate that word because there is no definition for that word. How many words do you need to know to be fluent? How much grammar do you need to know to be fluent? Nobody defines that. So it's not a useful word. But if we redefine the word fluency and change it to mean there are two ways of looking at language, mental language and physical language. Reading, writing, listening, and speaking are physical. And then you have mental language. So to me, fluency means the connection between mental language and your physical language. If you have good, strong mental language, you will have good, strong physical language. But if your mental language is weak, you will always feel like every aspect of your language is weak. It's the platform that language stands on. So you have to start understanding that thinking is critical. And if you think in the language, you never lose it. You never, ever lose it.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. So my entire viewpoint of learning languages has changed over time. And you know what? Part of it is because I speak Chinese. Because Chinese grammar is actually pretty simple. Yeah, Chinese is a difficult language. Everybody talks about how difficult language is. But, are you running out of time? Yeah, that's okay.
I will give a class right now, but thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Watch
okay.
the rest of your life.
Yeah, it was my pleasure to meet you, and yeah, good luck
Thank you
with your
so
class.
much.
Tell your students I said hello.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. So as I was saying, Chinese is a difficult language. Everybody says, "Oh, Chinese is so hard," and you're right. There are things about it that are hard. Learning the tones is hard. The pronunciation can be a bit difficult if you're not used to it, and writing and reading Chinese can be really hard. But there is one part of Chinese that's a bit simpler than most other languages, and that is the grammar. Chinese grammar is actually fairly simple. So I was able to start thinking in Chinese pretty quickly once I learned some vocabulary. I just put the vocabulary together in my head, and now I'm speaking Chinese. Okay? So, but it helped me prove that thinking is important. And it also helped me realize that grammar should not be the focus of language. Expression, communication, those are the things we should be trying to focus on. Not using a red pen to say, well, that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong. We should be focused on trying to get ideas out of minds. And then we can polish it. You can keep polishing it. But it's like sculpting, right? Making a sculpture. If you're always telling people that's terrible, that's terrible, that's terrible, I can't, your sculpture is so ugly, nobody is going to want to sculpt. If you constantly tell people your painting is so ugly, it's so terrible, nobody is going to want to paint. If you're always telling people your music is so terrible, I hate it, it's horrible, nobody's going to want to make music. That's what we do with language. We constantly tell people how terrible their language is, and that's why they're afraid. Yeah. So anyway, grammar is not that important. Okay. Let me catch up with some comments here. Hello, everyone. Before I forget, go to my Linktree and you can find all of my pages. You can find my website, sign up for my website. You can find my YouTube, sign up for my YouTube. You can find my Facebook, go to my Facebook. You can even see my rock band. Okay? In which context do we use the word hook? Hook has a few different meanings. It could be for fishing. If you're going fishing, you need a hook. It's the little metal sharp thing at the end of the string or fishing line that you use to catch the fish. That's called a hook. Anything that is sharp and curved like this could be described as a hook. But the hook also has a few other meanings, sometimes in a metaphorical sense. Helena, you'd have to give me a context where you saw it and I can explain what it means. Okay? Flower loves tents. Okay, well, I don't. Hello, Mine. How can you learn how to talk with anyone in English without confusion? You can't. Ezra. Learning how to speak a language is like learning how to play a musical instrument. When you first start playing a musical instrument, you might not sound that good. But you have to keep practicing to make your music better every day. But there is no end There is no end. No musician ever stops learning. No musician ever stops trying to be better. Okay, so language is not a perfect science, it's an art. So even I get confused sometimes. Confusion is part of life. Okay? Teacher Mike says grammar is what's under the hood of a language. Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's like, but I like to think of it more like this. It's like the rules of the road, right? But you can learn to drive without knowing the rules of the road. You can learn how to drive without going to driving school or reading the book. You can. Right? As a matter of fact, it's the way people used to learn how to drive. There was no driving school for a long time. This kid just got behind the car and started driving. That was the practical usage of driving. Now we teach them to go to school because it's safer. But language is not the same. Nobody's getting in a head-on car accident because of language. Well, hopefully not. You understand what I mean, Mike. Okay. Give examples of how to think in English. Start with baby thoughts. Ayub, the only reason why you think this idea is crazy is because you don't understand what I mean. Of course, you cannot think equally in English. You have two brains. You have one in your native language and you have English. Your native language brain is an adult mind and it can think adult thoughts. Your English brain is a child or a baby. It can only think child or baby thoughts. So you must start there. But if you never use your English mind, it will always be a baby. So start using your English mind and it will grow. Okay? Start with simple baby thoughts. Okay? And of course, sometimes I get stuck and I have no words. Well, yeah, but that's true in every language for every person. Sometimes I get stuck and I don't know what to say. That has nothing to do with language. Tanya says it seems that many things were more difficult and complicated in the past. Languages, clothes, hairstyles, jobs, and life in general. Yeah, for the most part. I think jobs maybe not so much. No, I think a long time ago, lots of jobs were kind of simple and straightforward. Being a carpenter, you built things. It's kind of straightforward. But now, to be a carpenter now, you have to have an accounting, program to do all your accounting, and maybe you have workers with you, and they need to be paid taxes, and all these things. Like it's much more complicated now, right? But I think that jobs in general were a bit more simple in the past. But everything else, I would tend to agree. Hairstyles, especially. What do I think is important? You mean in language? Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. You are an octopus. You have 8 arms. They're all important. Okay? Hello, Tulek. Good to see you, my friend. Ankur says, for learning English, environment is important. Not really. Ankur, I live in the United States. I practice my Chinese every day. Create an English environment in your mind, and you will have an English environment anywhere you go. It doesn't matter where you live. It matters what you think where you live. Okay? What's the difference between yes and yeah? Nothing. Yeah is a little bit more informal. How can we develop our baby mind? Start thinking baby thoughts. I'm tired. I'm happy. I'm hungry. I'm sad. I want to eat. I need to go to the bathroom. I want to sleep. Those are simple thoughts. But Yusuf, every day you have those thoughts, and every day you have them in Hindi. So your baby mind will always be a baby mind. Start having those thoughts in English. Okay? Yusuf says grammar is actually important for speaking English. I didn't say it's not important. I said people make it overly important. Grammar is not language. Grammar is just the rules of language. Okay, Yusuf? I teach grammar. I know grammar. But I still hate grammar. Because it is used as a way to make people hate language. That's all it is. The importance of grammar has been way overly exaggerated. Okay? Do I have a Chinese environment in my mind? I do. 每天我可以想中文。如果我看电视，我想中文；如果我去商店，我想中文；如果我去我的朋友的房间，我想中文，可以啊。Does it sound like I'm translating? No, because I'm not. I think in Chinese. Okay? To learn a new language, you should practice every day. And yes, if you learn how to think in the language, then you are practicing every day. That's the other reason why this is a great method. Okay? Grammar is the backbone of language? No, man, it's not. Grammar is just talking about language. No, it's not the backbone of language. It's that thought that makes people afraid to learn language. The backbone of language is communication and expression. That's the backbone of language. Communication and expression. Grammar is just the rules that can help you to communicate and express yourself more carefully. But many people can speak well without using great grammar. Okay? Life is not a grammar test. How did I learn Chinese? By myself, mostly. I studied Chinese for 6 months in a university when I was living in Taiwan. But mostly, I taught myself. Mostly, I learned how to think in the language. Mostly, I created I created a Chinese environment in my mind. Mostly. Okay? Helena says, I think a lot in English. I even have dreams in English. Yeah, if you start thinking in English, you will. I dream in Chinese sometimes. Yeah. What about accent? Also, actually not as important as you think. Okay? You can speak English perfectly well with any accent from any country. Your accent is your color. It may be a different color than someone else's color. Okay, your color might be a different color than mine, but if you're writing, if you have a crayon and or a colored pencil, if you have a colored pencil and you're drawing, maybe you want to write your name, but if your pencil is not sharp, you can't write it clearly. So what do? Do you change colors or do you sharpen the pencil? You sharpen the pencil. So, clarity is what you're shooting for. Not perfection. You don't need to sound like me. You do need to sound clear. Okay? When I speak Chinese, I know I have a bit of an American accent still. I don't care. I don't care at all. I'm not trying to learn Chinese to pretend that I was born in China. I'm trying to learn Chinese so that I can express my feelings and thoughts in Chinese. Okay? How can I practice English if my environment speaks French? Think in English. Guys, how many times do I have to say it? I don't care where you live. I don't care where you live. I care what you think, where you live. Change the language you think in as much as you can. If you do not know how to think that thing in English, write it down in your native language. Write it down in French. Write it down in Arabic. Write it down in Chinese. That's your homework. If you don't know how to say that thing, write it down. When I first started learning Chinese, every day, I look around and I think, I don't know. How do you say that in Chinese? I don't know. I write it down. And then I have to learn how to say that thing in Chinese. Okay? Sam, without grammar, you cannot... Okay, Sam, I'm going to prove you wrong. Hi, Sam. I want go store. Not proper grammar, but you understand me. Sam, store. I want go. Not proper grammar, but you understand me. I want store go. Not proper grammar, but you still probably understand me. Sam, you're focused on perfection. You're focused on the wrong thing, Sam. You like grammar, Sam, because you have pretty good grammar, I think. You're letting your ego get involved. Ego has no place in language. Ego has no place in music either. Music is not about making you seem like you're awesome. Music is about expressing yourself. Language is not about making you seem awesome and better than other people. No, language is about expressing yourself. And yeah, you can learn grammar and it will help you to express yourself better. But I'm only trying to tell you that you care too much about grammar and it scares people away from learning. Grammar is not language. Grammar is talking about language. Okay? You don't need grammar if you're living in an English-speaking country. In this case, you end up acquiring it, not learning it. Sam, that's somewhat true. Grammar, okay, native speakers of any language. How do you learn grammar? Yeah, you learn it in school, but not really. The way you learn it is from your environment. Your parents correct you. Your brothers and sisters correct you. Your family, your friends, your teachers, they correct you. That is how you learn grammar. Okay? But, Sam, I'm sorry, but I will disagree with you vehemently, I can't speak today, vehemently, and until I die. I don't care about grammar. If you're not in school, grammar doesn't matter. If you're not taking a test, grammar doesn't matter. If you're not at work, grammar doesn't matter. You only think it matters because of your ego. Let that go, man. Let that go. Get past the ego. Focus on the fact that someone is trying to communicate to you. When someone is trying to communicate to you, you should focus on the fact that they are trying to express themselves, not on, you said this wrong, and you said this wrong, and you said this wrong. Let them speak. And sure, you can help them, but you know, one of the most important things as a teacher is learning how to correct people without bashing them over the head with the corrections. So every time I correct someone, I say, this was good. This was really good. I like this. I like this. But next time, let's try to do this and this. I always start with a positive anytime I want to correct someone. Okay? If you don't know those words and you don't know how to say it and then how to solve it, 这是你的功课，写，你可以去那个网路的 look online. Go online. Okay? How to stop translating the mind, Yusuf? Again, I've already answered this question, Yusuf. Start thinking simple thoughts in English. Sam, you're a linguist. Well, guess what, Sam? I'm an English teacher. I don't care if you're a linguist. Okay? Sam, you're a linguist. That's why you think grammar is important. Because linguistics is not the same as language. Linguistics is learning about language, but not learning language. Okay? Linguistics is not language. It's about language. It's not the same thing. Linguistics is very interesting. I have hundreds of books about linguistics. Okay? Noam Chomsky, one of my favorite guys. Love him. Read a bunch of his stuff. He's one of the top linguists. Okay? Foundational. But language is supposed to be... Grammar is something that has been designed to be too difficult. That's my point. It needs to be simplified, one, and two, it also needs to be declassified as less important. Because it is not as important as everyone says. For example, the word whom, not needed. Get rid of it. Doesn't need to exist anymore at all. Present perfect. Why do we call it perfect? It's a Latin term. Why are we teaching Latin terms when we teach English? Not needed. And Tariq says, I think you're completely right, but I think you need grammar for academic purposes. And that's why I said, if you're in school, you need grammar. If you're at work, you need grammar. If you're taking a test like the IELTS test, you need grammar. But there are many people in this world who are learning languages for other reasons. There are many people in this world who are learning language because they want to learn language. Okay, and if you're at the grocery store talking to your friend in English, grammar doesn't matter. Speak. Grammar is a monster you have created in your mind that scares you, and that's why you're afraid to speak. I am trying to kill that monster. Okay? If you teach in a fun way, you'll have them love it. Man, I've been teaching for 30 years, dude. Grammar is the number one reason why everyone hates language. Any language. I don't care what language it is. It's the number one reason people don't like learning any language. Okay? So you can be a genius at teaching grammar, and still people are going to hate it. Because you think it's more important than it really is. Okay? How can you write in English if you don't have... Again, how can I speak in English? I can speak and still make communication happen without perfect grammar. Let me give you an example, Sam. Long time no see, Sam. Long time no see. Is that proper grammar? Long time no see. Do you know why long time no see is not proper grammar? Because it's Chinese. 好久不见. Sometimes in English we say, let me have a look-see. Do you know why that's not proper grammar? Also Chinese. 我要看看. Okay? So, you're talking about academic purposes. And Sam, I'm talking about life purposes. Life is not about academics. And language has far greater importance than only school. Language has much, much greater importance. Let me teach you another interesting fact, Sam. Lingua franca. Do you know that term, Sam? Lingua franca. You're going to find this very interesting, Sam. Do you know where that term comes from, Sam? Do you know the etymology of lingua franca? It's actually very funny. That term comes from Arabic speakers, because a long time ago in the Crusades, during the Crusades, anytime Arabic speakers saw a person from Europe, anyone from Europe, they didn't understand their language, so they thought they all spoke the same language. So lingua franca means language of the French, because they thought they were all French. The English speakers, they thought they're French. The French speakers, the German speakers, anybody, Spanish speakers, they all thought, oh, it's French. Lingua franca. Now the term means common language, right? A common language shared by many, or a common language used to speak to many people who don't speak the same language. But that's where the term comes from. Okay. Hold on, I need to take care of a few things here. Sam, I'm glad you're an English teacher and you do whatever you want to do, but you came to my room. And I am not here to argue about how to teach English. I'm not here to argue about it. Okay? I will teach it any way I want to. You teach it any way you want to. You can disagree with me, but this is my classroom. If I came into your classroom, I wouldn't just come in to raise my hand and say, no, I don't think you're right. I would listen, pay attention, and see if I could learn something from you. Okay, I might disagree with you still. At the end of the class, I might disagree with you. But you came to my room. I didn't come to you. Okay? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Next. I speak English, I speak Chinese, and I speak a little bit about many other languages. Vinay, what steps should you use to speak language or to become fluent? Go to my website, go to my YouTube, and you'll find a bunch of videos that you can watch for that. Okay? Okay, everybody, if you're talking about something political in my room, I'm going to remove you no matter what side you take. Okay? If you're talking about something political in my room, I'm going to remove you no matter what side you take. Okay? And no, Sam, you didn't scare me, man. I'm not scared so easily. It's just, this is a simple matter of, I do this to help people. I do not do this to argue with other people. It's very simple. Okay? This says English question and answer session with Teacher Mark. It doesn't say English debate session. Okay? You can have different viewpoints than I do. That's fine. But don't argue with me about them, because that's not why I'm here. Okay? Okay. In the past, everyone in the West was named French. Right. That's what I'm saying. Lingua franca. So now the term lingua franca means, well, usually we talk about English because it's considered a lingua franca. It's a common language spoken between people who don't know the same language. But the original etymology, which is one of my hobbies, etymology of something I've been studying since I was 15, is that, yeah, they used to think everybody who spoke any language from Europe was French. Lingua franca. Yeah. And that's right. English is the lingua franca of many countries. It's considered the lingua franca now. You know, I mean, there are others, but it's generally when we talk about a lingua franca, we're talking about English. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed what I said. Just try to remember that, though. Okay, Sam? I don't want you to leave. I'm not telling you to go away. I'm just telling you, just try to remember what my purpose is in being here. Okay? And it's not to debate. Okay? I have my views and my ideas, and I'm here to teach them. Okay? Tengo mucho tiempo intentando aprender inglés. Juliana, why didn't it work? "我会说中文，你要我说什么？这是中文课吗？这是中文考试吗？" Thank you, Teacher Mike. But again, I'm not trying to argue with Sam. I'm not trying to be mean. But I'm just trying to say, Sam, you have your views and I have mine, and the two are fine. They're both fine. All right. If you want to have your own live stream and you want to teach the way you do it, that's fine. I'm not going to come to your live stream and tell people how wrong you are. I realize you're trying to help people, so I will let you help them in any way you want to. Okay, Sam? I hope you understand that. I'm not trying to be rude or mean or something, but I am going to say that this is my room. This is my classroom. I run the show. That's how it works. Am I a lawyer? No. Why would you think I'm a lawyer? Take care, Sarah. That's right, Sam. That's right. Yeah. So again, your views, totally cool. I'm okay with that. And you expressed your views, but I'm not here to debate them. That's all I'm trying to say, all right? Debating is important, but that's not what I'm doing here. It doesn't say English debate session. Okay? It doesn't say English debate session. Talk about food, travel, school, hobby? You mean in Chinese? 我爱吃四川的食物，我爱吃辣的食物。我最近吃飞机腹片，夫妻肺片跟麻辣烫，就是麻辣的火锅。我最近吃，我爱吃。我也喜欢做大鼓，我是鼓手，我常常喜欢听音乐。How about USA jobs? I don't know. What do you want to know? How many AP classes did I take? I'm old. I don't even remember. But what difference does that make? Almost everything that I learned after school. I mean, after I left school. Do I watch Shameless? I look like Frank? 不是. No. 我知道他，可是，no。如果你觉得我 ，no， 如果你觉得这个，我觉得很多中国人他们看一样Jackie Chan. Do you look like Jackie Chan? No, you do not. 他不帅，我觉得我不是好帅啊，可是我觉得我不是 Frank。If I am married, am I going to allow her to argue or debate? That's a weird question. As long as she's not in my classroom, yes. I love to argue and debate, but not in my classroom. Yeah. Okay. Listen, everybody. It's wow. It's 1:30. I've been here for almost 3 hours. It's too long. I've been here for almost 3 hours. It's too long. I need to go. But before I go, you can go to my Linktree, which is right here. You will find my YouTube. You will find my Facebook. You will find my website. You will find my Buy Me a Coffee and my rock band. Yeah, you'll find me all. Yeah, I know, Mike. Today I went way too long. Yeah, I got a little carried away. Yeah, I try to stay around an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. You know, when I do my voice rooms, I try to an hour and a half. That's it. You know, but when I do my live streams, sometimes I get carried away. You know, you feel like people are always asking you for help, and I just feel like I can't say no. There are always people here saying, you know, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? And so I end up feeling a little like I can't leave, you know. Thank you, Tarek. Let's call it a day. No, I don't live in China. 我住在美国，就是俄亥俄州，你知道吗？在美国中部。Yeah, I get a little carried away sometimes, Mike. Can I pronounce the word water? water. So Adele, in American English, when we say the word water, it depends on whether we're speaking slowly or quickly. When we speak slowly, it is water, 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 hard T. When we speak quickly, it's water, soft D. Water, 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 water. But if you're from England, it's bottle of water. My YouTube channel, you can go right here. It's A Friend in Every Corner English. A Friend in Every Corner English. Right there. Okay, Farah? And thanks for watching, Mike. It's always interesting when I see native speakers here. I never know how to react to that. I'm not sure if people are watching me to heckle me or watching me to learn something or to laugh at me. I don't know, But I'm glad you stuck around. I appreciate you hanging out, whatever you were doing. So do come back and see me again. I'm usually here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I usually have live streams. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I usually have voice rooms. I have about 70,000 followers here on Hello Talk. And they don't follow me because I'm cute. Apparently, I look like Frank. So, Alice, I'm glad you learned a lot. Why are Americans so attracted to the British accent? We're not. We think it's funny. We like to. They make fun of us. We make fun of them. It's fine. They like to pretend to have an American accent. And we like to pretend to have a British accent sometimes. We're just having fun with each other. That's all. Okay? What time do I usually have streams? Well, it depends, Sarah. Sometimes I'm very busy. If I have private lessons in the morning, then, I used to do my live streams around 9 in the morning, my time. But if I have to teach, then I have to teach. So sometimes I have to do it later. Okay, so I wish I did have a set schedule, but I don't get paid for any of this time. I'm not being paid at all for this time. So I do it anytime I can. It has to fit in my schedule, and I do have a lot of things that I do in my life. Like right now, I should be working on my book. Yeah, just follow me. And you'll get a notification about when I have my streams and my voice streams and whatever. Okay? Thank you, Teacher Mike. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, send me a message or something. Hit me up. We'll chat. Thank you, Zara. You like the American accent? Well, I'm glad you like the American accent. But there are many American accents, there are dozens, well, maybe not dozens. There's at least a dozen different American accents. Okay? Tarek says, I had a British girlfriend. She told me when she was in America and people hear her accent, they asked her out. Well, that's different, man. Like, that's just because when you hear an accent, it has an exotic quality, right? And so human beings are naturally kind of attracted to exotic things. So it doesn't matter if you have a French accent or a British accent or a German accent or an Italian accent. Somebody here is going to be like, oh, wow, that's so sexy. So that's just the nature of psychology and exotic things. Okay? Or maybe she was just hot. That could be too. That could be too. That could be too. Good point. All right. Well, again, thanks, guys, for listening and following, participating, and all that good stuff. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening wherever you live in the world. Don't forget to be a language warrior. Learning a language is a fight. You have to be willing to fight your fear. You have to be willing to fight your fear. If you want to speak a language well, no matter what language it is, the first thing you must do is conquer your fear. You're not allowed to be shy. You just can't. You can't learn a language and be shy. Those two things don't go together. All right? Okay, guys. Alice, you're funny. And it's Frank, F-R-A-N-K. Alice, F-R-A-N-K, not C-K. Okay? All right, guys. Thank you. I'll see you guys next time.